Tonight with breaking news. Right now, San Antonio police are responding to a possible drowning on River Road on the south side. According to SAPD, a father and son were fishing when the father slipped in mud and fell into the water. The man's son says he never came back up.
Yeah, right now SAPD and fire crews at the scene. We've also been told New Braunfels Fire Department's dive team has been called to assist. We'll bring you more updates as they become available. Beaten over his truck 5 months after he was carjacked at Walker Ranch and Stonewood Drive near Bitters Road. Police say a San Antonio grandfather has died from his injuries.
80-year-old Larry Brister died on July 8th. His official cause of manner of death, though, still pending. Garrett Berger sat down with his widow to talk about the difficult choice she had to make and about the 3 teenagers charged with robbing her husband.
Sandra Brister says her husband Larry was going to pick up dinner when he was carjacked in this north side neighborhood less than a mile from their home. He suffered extensive injuries from which he never fully recovered.
His whole head was blue.
Broken bones, brain bleeds, and skin grafts. Larry Brister was left battered by a carjacking that his wife says even involved him being dragged.
I think he may have got his hand caught in the door.
Sandra Brister says her husband had been doing all right, but had complications from skin grafts. And earlier this month, she made the decision to put him on hospice care.
He had tried so hard, and we didn't want him to suffer anymore. That's the hardest decision I've ever made in my life.
2 days later, the father of 2 and grandfather of 3 died. A sad end for the lively man who's played tennis, helped neighbors with yard work, and liked to dance.
He loved Mexican music, especially Vicente Fernandez. He liked mariachis. He liked his family.
About a month and a half after the carjacking, police announced they had arrested 3 boys, ages 15 to 16, for aggravated robbery. Now that Brister has died, police say the investigation has been sent to the homicide unit for a capital murder investigation, which is still ongoing. His wife says she wants to see justice.
What does that look like?
It looks like the judges making the right decision to punish people for these crimes.
Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
We now know the name of the man shot and killed by a San Antonio police officer Sunday afternoon. Police say 30-year-old Adrian San Martin ran from officers that tried to arrest him outside a hotel on I-35. Chief William McManus says San Martin took off towards a police vehicle with a gun in his hand, and that's when the officer in the vehicle got out and shot him. That's according to the police chief. Life-saving measures were performed until EMS arrived to take him to the hospital, where he was later pronounced dead. The officer that shot and killed San Martin is Joseph Warren. He's been with SAPD for 6 years, is on administrative leave while the department continues to investigate.
In court today, testimony about a gang rivalry that ended in a deadly drive-by shooting in 2017. A 4-year-old boy was killed in that shooting. Former gang member Charles Bethany took the stand in the sentencing hearing for Terrell Chase. In May, Chase was found guilty of felon in possession of a firearm, but he and several others are charged with the murder of 4-year-old De'Urvion Whitley. Bethany testified today about a gang rivalry in 2017 and how Chase and other gang members shot up a house on Hub Street.
Did Mr. Phillips verbally admit to you that himself, Mr. Chase, Mr. Chapman, another individual, had just shot up Earl Whitley's house?
Yes.
Chase is facing a maximum of 10 years for that felon in possession of a firearm charge. This sentencing hearing is expected to wrap up tomorrow. But as for the murder charge, Chase and the other co-defendants have yet to stand trial.
Tonight, San Antonio Police and Crime Stoppers asking for your help finding the suspects who allegedly shot up 2 homes on the southwest side. Take a look. SAPD says this silver sedan was seen driving in the 100 block of Dexter Drive, where this happened on June 27th. Very blurry pictures, but officers say the people in the car shot those homes. No one inside the homes were hurt. Police say this is the second shooting at those same houses in the last 2 months. Now the latest on the impeachment trial of Attorney General Ken Paxton. Today, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick issuing a gag order for anyone involved in the impeachment trial of the suspended Attorney General. Last week, Patrick told the state House to turn over any certain information to Paxton ahead of that trial. That trial expected to begin on September 5th.
A Houston family distraught after 2 children drowned in the San Jacinto River. Harris County deputies say it happened Saturday night near an off-roading park and beach there. A 6-year-old boy and a 12-year-old girl were swimming in the river and didn't come back up. K-9 units and dive teams helped in that search, and the bodies of those 2 children were found just after midnight Sunday morning.
A man suspected in a mass shooting in Amarillo is now in custody. Police say Jose Flores III allegedly killed 2 men at a party on July 9th. 5 other people were shot. Those victims expected to survive. Police have not yet revealed a motive for the shooting, but say the gunfire happened after a fight broke out at that party. Flores arrested last Saturday, currently held at a detention center in Randall County.
Today, CPS Energy issuing another yellow day alert amid these high temperatures. CPS now asking customers to conserve power until 8 o'clock tonight. That means setting your thermostat to 78 degrees or higher, using fans to help stay cool, and turning off any non-essential appliances. To find out more on how to conserve power, go to KSAT.com.
The Centers for Disease Control say heat illness during athletic practice or games a leading cause of death and disability among high school athletes.
And many colleges and high schools in our area start those practices as soon as next week. Jonathan Cotto tells us what experts say that student athletes should start doing now to keep cool and safe.
So there's something called acclimatization so that you can prepare for the heat. If you know you're going to go into something like 2-a-days for football.
Go quick, put them off.
Dr. Stephen Warren, Associate Professor of Emergency Medicine at UT Health, says acclimate gradually, especially if you're not used to exercising in hot weather.
And you've been sitting around in the air conditioning for a month or so, then now's the time to slowly start to introduce yourself to the heat.
Over at the University of Incarnate Word, Davis Conley, Director of Strength and Conditioning, says their athletes have been doing just that, gradually adjusting to the summer heat by starting their training in the mornings.
So just making sure we don't throw them right into the fire. The old saying is, once bread becomes toast, it can never be bread again.
He says the same adjustments to the hotter temperatures should be applied for all sports and all athletes of any age.
I think the people in charge of the kids have to be the smartest ones in the room. You can't go out day one and hammer a 2-hour practice. It should almost look easy in the beginning. And there's a fine line between trying to develop a tough team and just being dumb.
He says high school athletes should also monitor their own recovery, making sure they're hydrated, getting enough salt and food. He also recommends keeping an eye on the scale.
We're having guys with any loss from day to day. So what you weigh in the morning is what we're going to make sure you weigh in that night. And that way we know at least we're doing the best we can to prepare them for both injuries and then a hydration point. Because as soon as that hydration can drop, that's when you can start to run into some soft tissue stuff or, potentially even worse things.
Jonathan Cotto, KSAT 12 News.
All right, let's take a look outside with live cam right now. We know it's brutally hot out there, but there is a bright spot here, Adam. You said earlier today the heat index, that's not as much of a factor as it has been in weeks past.
No, because of the several weeks now of full sunshine and heat and really not much rain has dried us out. So I'll get into that in more detail coming up in just a few minutes. But I do want to point out we have an updated high temperature today, 104. And that's just 1 degree shy of the record. 95, by the way, is our average. Del Rio had a record high, making it to 107, along with Cotulla. Carrizo Springs, even a degree hotter, 108. Kerrville, high temperature of 103 this afternoon. And current temperatures are pretty close to the highs right now. Clear sky this evening, southeasterly wind at 10 to 15. The humidity is going to return after sunset. It's going to return quickly. We'll be 92 at 10 o'clock and midnight at 86 degrees. I'll be back to talk about the heat index, why it's not as big of a player in our weather right now, along with a little shift that has a glimmer of hope for rain. Coming right up, Steve.
Thank you, Adam. Victor Wembanyama has been the talk of the town ever since the Spurs landed the #1 draft pick. But tonight, fans are buzzing about the team for another reason. Is a new home in the cards for the Silver and Black? Well, earlier today on KSAT.com, we asked you whether you would support a new arena downtown for the Spurs. It's quickly become the top story on our website. The results are in. The overwhelming response from our viewers: yes, they would. You can see right now, 66% support a new arena downtown for the Silver and Black. 34% say they would not. We've had more than 600 responses so far. You can still chime in. Just head to ksat.com/poll to vote. We want to hear from you.
When you hear the word typhus, you might think of epidemics that happened historically during wars or famines. Although it's no longer an epidemic, hospitals in Texas are still seeing cases, including right here in San Antonio. An emergency medicine director tells Courtney Friedman what he's seeing and how people can avoid this disease this summer.
Flea infestation is always a headache, but it can also be a health hazard for you. In this area of the country, there are cases of murine typhoid, or typhoid caused by flea bites.
We see a lot of it here in, South Texas. It's common in certain tropical areas, so parts of South America, Central America.
Dr. Ralph Riviello is the director of emergency medicine at University Hospital and says the murine typhoid is more common in warm months. He's already diagnosed several cases this summer here in San Antonio. Metro Health reports 5 cases since January this year, up from 3 last year and the same as 2021. Initial symptoms include fever, headache, and a purple diffuse rash, but it can progress to more serious neurological symptoms, including serious headache, meningitis, and confusion. Fleas feed off of animals, both strays and pets, so that's where prevention comes into play.
So if you're headed outside for a while, make sure you're utilizing that bug spray and don't be petting any stray or wild animals. If you want to keep fleas out of your house, you can always use products like this to continuously spray your yard to keep them out, and also be putting that preventative flea and tick medication on your pets.
If you do get flea bites, just watch for those symptoms, which typically show up about 7 to 10 days after the bite.
If we assume or presume somebody may have it, we go ahead and offer the treatment because it is a simple antibiotic that can be taken orally.
So if you develop symptoms, head to the doctor and make sure you tell them about recent flea bites. Courtney Friedman, KSAT 12 News.
A local food bank is packing thousands of meals a day so people in South Texas aren't going hungry. Hear who they say needs the help the most right now and how close they are to reaching their goal next.
And making memories with music. What makes the San Antonio Summer Symphony's last session so special?
Welcome back. I'm Symphony Jimenez, and here's what we're working on for you tonight on the Night Beat. So imagine this. You found a house listed for rent and you're getting ready to move in. Makes sense, right? But it turns out that house was never actually available. Tonight, how con artists are taking advantage of self-guided house tours and scamming people out of their money. Also, she's a beloved educator in the San Antonio community, and tonight, we say goodbye to Belle Ortiz and take a look at her impact on mariachi music education. We'll see you for these stories and so much more tonight on The Night Beat.
Thanks, Stephania. Thousands of families in our community depend on the San Antonio Food Bank to survive. Right now, the bank says their volunteers are packing thousands of meals a day for those in need, and kids are the group they say needs the most help. Mary DeMarigny from the San Antonio Food Bank says 1 in 4 children in South Texas faces food insecurity, and the need for food for those children just increases when they're not in school.
And so during the school year, we got a lot going on to get them their free and reduced breakfast and lunches. But once summertime hits, those kids are out of school and they're not getting those meals. We have 3 shifts going every day. So you're thinking over 10,000 meals a day just in this kitchen to get out to kids.
The food bank is about halfway to its goal of making 20 million meals this summer.
The Youth Orchestras of San Antonio's Summer Symphony Camp introduces children and teens to different types of music each and every summer. This week, some campers are getting the chance to try their hand at creating mariachi music. Teen musicians from around town being introduced to rancheras, ballads, corridos, and more. This is the camp's final summer session. It all ends Friday with a student-run concert. Very cool.
Yeah. Beautiful music and a beautiful setting there in the AC for summer camp. That's a big plus.
Yeah, although I was noticing the kids, I'm glad we put marching band in there with the kids that need to hydrate and be worried about the weather that's so hot.
Yeah, and they're on pavement and sometimes asphalt, right?
Yeah.
Even hotter, so that's an issue. Now, luckily, the heat index I don't think it's going to be as big of a factor going forward for the foreseeable future as it was in weeks past. Remember, back in January, we had the highest heat index value ever recorded in San Antonio, or I should say ever calculated for San Antonio. That was 117. And take a look at our temperature trend. It's still going to be hot. Air temperatures around 104 again tomorrow and Wednesday. And then we trim off just a few degrees by this weekend and into next week, just closer to 100. But at least it's a trend in the right direction. It's not much, but it's going the right way. Tomorrow, by the way, is likely to be another record high. Now, I looked at all of our observation stations that calculate the heat index and whatnot, and I got the maximum, the peak heat index values for the day today. And notice the warmest feels like temperature in San Antonio was 102. That was the heat index, the highest heat index value. Meanwhile, our air temperature was 104, actually warmer than that. Usually you talk about the heat index being higher than the air temperature. That's not always the case right now because we're drying out a bit. Look at that dew point of 56. Remember all the rain that we had April, May, and even early June. Thereafter, that translated to very high humidity levels, even in the usually drier afternoons. Now we're drying out and humidity is starting to drop as it typically does this time of day. In turn, the heat index, not really a factor out there right now. Look at these dewies back down into the 50s. Now, this is just for the afternoon hours. Later on tonight, after sunset, dew points will climb back into the lower 70s, but then we'll see them fall off again tomorrow afternoon. We get the drier air mixing downward and we don't have it replaced by that humidity from our soil and from all the vegetation out there. In turn, the air temperature is the same or even a degree or two less than the heat index. You look at the given temperature right now, Hondo 102, 104 New Braunfels, Uvalde 102. I'm going to switch into the heat index. Notice not much of a change. Actually, some places dropped a degree when you calculate the feels like temperature because of those drier dew points. Here's our heat high. It's centered just to the west of us. Later this week, it elongates along the entire southern United States and still influences our weather. And then here's the key for our subtle pattern shift. It's going to anchor itself again over the western U.S., basically right over Utah. That puts us in this northerly flow aloft, which opens the door for a disturbance or two. And I do think we'll have a little bit of rain-making energy in there. And that actually does give us a slight chance of showers. Don't get too excited. But I show you this map quite often, the rainfall potential over the next 7 days. Usually we don't even have a bright green color here in our neck of the woods. Now we do because of that subtle pattern shift. We'll have a little bit of instability and we'll have a little bit of energy, but I don't think we'll see a whole lot in terms of rain. We'll get to the 7-day with those chances in a moment. First of all, this evening, clear sky, 10 o'clock, 92 degrees. Tomorrow we start the day at 78, back up to 104, and it's going to feel like 104 actual. That's what it's going to be like. So we're not going to have the oppressive humidity in the afternoon. Near 104 across all of Bexar County. And then notice as we get into Saturday, a 10% chance, Sunday, 20% chance of an isolated storm, and then Monday, 10%. I know it's not much, but it's a glimmer of hope for something, and we'll keep you updated on changes. We'll look at how extensive the Canadian wildfire smoke is coming up at 6:45.
All right, we'll see you then. Thanks, Adam.
All right, so the head football coach for the University of Texas at the Texas High School Convention. I'm guessing it was crowded. Probably felt like a Shark Tank.
Very much crowded out in
bad.
Houston, the 91st annual convention. They're expecting some 16,000 high school and middle school coaches to go out there to learn from guys like Texas head football coach Steve Sarkisian and in Major League Baseball, Josh Young from San Antonio delivered. He came up in the clutch. Coming up. The Texas High School Coaches Association Coaching Convention is going down at the George R. Brown Convention Center in Houston. The 3-day event is billed as the most comprehensive athletics conference in the state of Texas. The event kicked off yesterday, and one of the big names there, Texas Longhorns head football coach Steve Sarkisian. Entering his third season at Texas, he was asked why does he go to this event.
Texas high school football and their coaches do a great job of creating a platform for our coaches to then recruit their players. And sometimes I think that gets lost in all of the other stuff that's happening. And so the opportunity for us to be here and to support them and what they do and how they do and why they do what they do, that's why I'm here. The Texas High School Coaches Association, what they do, inevitably, we get players on our roster that are more ready to play.
And how about this? The 119th Texas-Oklahoma football game will return to a familiar name with a new sponsor this year called the All-State Red River Rivalry. Long known as the Red River Shootout, the game was rebranded in 2005 to the Red River Rivalry, then was named the AT&T Red River Showdown in 2014. This year will mark the last game with both those schools in the Big 12 before OU and UT move to SEC next season. And Texas State head football coach G.J. Kinney, who stopped by San Antonio back in early June to meet with Texas State alumni, is also attending the convention out in Houston. And that always brings back great memories for him when he was growing up as a kid.
This event, my dad's been a Texas high school coach for over 30 years, so this event always, kind of the end of vacation, the start of the grind. 6 out of my 10 full-time staff members are former Texas high school coaches, so it's great to get around these guys and network and build those relationships, and just really excited, the direction that Texas State football is headed under, Don Coryell and President Typhus. So just really excited to get back to work and develop these relationships this weekend.
Kenny and his Bobcats will kick off the season Saturday, September 2nd at Baylor at 6 p.m. Josh Young came up clutch for the Texas Rangers yesterday, delivering this 2-run single to cap off a 4-run 8th inning to help Texas win 6-5 and sweep the 3-game series. The MacArthur High School alums struggled in this series, going just 2 for 13, and those 2 runs batted in were his first since Saturday, January the 8th, when he had 3 RBI, ending a stretch of 4 games without driving in a run.
Confidence boost. You feel like a little weight's off your shoulders. That's really it.
How much fun was it to be a part of that 8th inning?
Oh, finally to be a part of it. It felt great. Finally contributed, it felt like. But yeah, it felt great. And then to finish it off, it was awesome.
Young and the Rangers will host Tampa Bay tonight, game 1 of a 3-game set, followed by 3 more home games with the Dodgers. And the Walk, Run, Have Fun, Bryce Strong 5K is coming up on Saturday, July 29th. This is to raise money and awareness and make a difference in the lives of children and families affected by adolescent cancer. The 5K starts at 7:39 p.m. at DW Rutledge Stadium, and this year features a post-race concert with country artist Curtis Grimes. All race participants get into the concert for free, or you can buy tickets to the concert at eventbrite.com. Now, to sign up for the 5K, please go to athleteguild.com.
I'm glad to see Bryce Strong keep going.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, and it's going to keep going.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thanks, Larry.
Our KSAT Q&A with presidential candidate Will Hurd is up next.
He's been a member of the CIA. He's been a member of Congress. He was the Texas A&M student body president. He's also from San Antonio and a graduate of Marshall High School. Will Hurd is a newly announced presidential candidate. He's spending a lot of his time, obviously, on the campaign trail. A little break home here for the next couple days or next few hours.
About 6 hours, yeah.
Why did you decide to get into this race?
Look, it's real simple. I think we're facing a number of generational defining challenges that aren't being addressed. I've seen our enemies up close and personal, whether it was in the CIA, in Congress, or now in business, working with cutting edge technologies. The Chinese government is trying to surpass us as a global superpower. Everybody should care, because if we lose our role in the world, that's going to impact our dollar. That's going to impact our ability to have good paying jobs. It's going to impact our retirements, right? We're dealing with persistent inflation at a time that new technologies like artificial intelligence is going to upend every industry, not in 10 years, in like 2 or 3 years. We got to be ready for these. And we've recently seen our kids, their grades in math, science, and reading. It's the worst they've been in this century. These are problems that need to be addressed. And I don't think we have enough people in the Republican primary that are talking about these issues. Oh, and by the way, something I learned here in San Antonio, we're better together, right? San Antonio works because we all work together. And when we can solve solve all these problems and make sure this century stays the American century if we do it together.
You say there's not enough people talking about it, but there's already a long list of people in this race, more than a dozen others. It seems like now in a campaign, once you announce, there is no time to waste. So how do you make yourself stand out in this crowded field that includes the former president?
Well, it's okay to say it. I'm a dark horse candidate, right? And just like nobody thought when I moved back to San Antonio that a black Republican could win in a 72% Latino district, I did it because I showed up and talked about issues people care about. You know, when I get asked questions, folks want to know about how are they going to be able to put food on their table, a roof over their head, or take care of the people that are healthy, happy, take care of their loved ones and make sure they're healthy and happy. Here's the thing. I'm also not afraid to talk about Donald Trump, right? Yes, he's leading in some of the polls, but as we know since at least 2016, that polls don't always reflect what happens on Election Day. And let's talk about real issues. You know, I'm the only Republican that's talking about things like gun violence in our schools. The thoughts and prayers are not enough to address those issues, but I'm putting those issues out. And so you show up, you talk to people that don't expect to see you. That's how you make an impact. We got 26 weeks to go. Or actually, our next big goal is to get 40,000 unique donors in order to get on to to meet the requirements to be on the debate stage. I need everybody here in San Antonio to go to herdforamerica.com and give at least $1. And I can make a promise. If I get to the White House, breakfast tacos in the morning, margaritas at night. And in 2024, when we win the NBA championship, because we got Wemby now and Coach Pop coming back, I'll bring the beast. You know, that's the car the president drives around, and I'll be honking down Commerce Street.
All right.
You know,
All right.
the mayor may not like that.
I'm going to hold you to that one. But so you talked about the fact that you were talking about things that other people aren't talking about. I remember when you ran for Congress. I remember you were close. Then you got there. Then you did something called DC to DQ, where you went to every Dairy Queen in your district, year after year after year. Is that a strategy that you plan on using? Can you use that strategy when you're running for something like President of the United States?
You can, because the reality about running for president is that it's not one election, it's 50 elections. And one of the most important ones is the first primary. That's New Hampshire. And Granite Staters, here's what I've learned being up there a couple times already, having only been in the race about 3 weeks. They want to see and talk to people. And guess what? It's 1/5 the size of my old congressional district, right? Back when I was in the 23rd, it took 10 hours to drive across the district. I went to a town that was at the very northern tip of New Hampshire. It was like 2.5 hours. I was like, this is like going to lunch sometimes, And so yes, it can work, but it requires talking about these issues that people care about. It requires us to not be afraid to call a spade. And guess what? Here's what the American people want. They want someone who has a vision for the future, not someone who's complaining about the past. They want people that are going to make sure we have unprecedented peace, make sure that we have a world-class education for our kids, regardless of their age or their location. And that's the message that we're taking. And when only 23% of the country is voting in primaries, when 6 out of 10 Americans do not want Joe Biden on the ballot and 7 out of 10 don't want Donald Trump, nobody wants that rematch. And so they're looking for something new, something fresh, and we're going to take it to them.
I want to ask you about the border. As somebody who served a district that stretches from San Antonio to El Paso, you are from South Texas. It's an issue that we have seen continue, that Texans are directly impacted by, and we look to the federal government to address. What do you think needs to be done?
4 counties today along the border just, made a declaration that they're being invaded. Our counties wouldn't have to do that if the federal government did their job. And here's the real simple fact. Last year, 2.5 million people that we know of came into the country illegally. When you look at each one of them paid, on average, about $10,000 to be smuggled, that's $25 billion going to human smugglers. So number one, let's treat these smuggling organizations like the national intelligence priority they are and dismantle them. 2, we have to stop treating everybody that comes into our country illegally in between our points of entry as an asylum seeker. This is a policy that started on Donald Trump and became worse under Joe Biden. And then we also have to address the root causes in places like El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras. Right now, that we are having illegal immigration coming from everywhere. But historically, it's been from that northern triangle, those three countries. And it's a fraction of the cost to use our foreign aid to address issues like extreme violence, poverty, and lack of economic opportunities in those countries before they come here. And here's what I'm also seeing. The northern border is starting to become a problem. The volume is nowhere near what we see on the south, but the amount of fentanyl that's coming from China, going into Canada, and coming into the United States through our northern border is becoming a problem. And we need people that are like, again, some of the people I'm running against. They talk a big game, but they weren't able to actually do anything. We need people that have real understanding of this problem and know how to fix it on day one.
You talk about things like the border and gun control and things that maybe aren't always talked about in a Republican primary. I want to ask you a personal question. I mean, when you make a decision that's as monumental as I'm going to put myself out there and run for president of the United States, what goes into that decision? I mean, you're newly married, your family is here. I mean, what goes into that decision? And was there a moment where you said, okay, we're going to do this?
Look, I'm lucky that I'm the baby of three, right? And, my mother and father are people that always supported me and always gave me the tools to do things hard. And my family and my wife have always been super supportive. My wife, Lindley, is always like, Will, I've seen you do things that folks didn't think you can do. And this is what the country needs. And so the question you ask yourself is there a pathway to victory? Right? Look, I'm a classically trained engineer. I've been studying this problem. And yes, there is a pathway for victory to someone like me who's going to be undercapitalized and who probably, doesn't have as much name ID as some of the other people in the race. And so when you understand the strategy and you have some idea on the tactics, the question is, do we have the resolve to see this through the end? And my wife is supportive. My family and friends are supportive. All the Aggie Nation and everybody from John Marshall, all the Rams have been coming out, and they've been going to herdforamerica.com and giving that $1. But the reality is, for me, I've been fortunate to have some amazing experiences, and this is my responsibility to give back to my country, because I want to ensure that we give a country to our kids that's better than the one that we got. And so yeah, and then also talk about having fun. Here's the reality. I'm going to say it like it is. I've always been that way. And so I don't have to, twist myself into a pretzel to answer these questions. And I'm just going to tell people why I'm doing things. And that's already resonating in places like New Hampshire and Iowa and around the country.
Will Hurd hitting the campaign trail in a matter of hours, I believe. Former congressman running for president, a San Antonian. Thanks so much for sharing some time with us.
Thanks for having me on.
Always appreciate having you. Thank you, Will. We'll be right back.